Welcome to another episode of DC Changing Artists mid-series. I mean, last week's Comics Today. I want to get the worst book of the week out of the way right at the start. I was just praising... one of the guys at the comic shop asked me about Jurassic League. I was praising it. The series has been fantastic. I said that if Johnson couldn't draw it himself, that Juan Gideon was an excellent, really outstanding choice to draw the series. And then this issue, they changed artists, and now we've got this... I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not good. It is definitely not good. And even the writing this issue is not great. There's a bunch of jumping off cliffs while shouting, "I will save you." This issue in particular is a series of fight scenes with, I think, one page of exposition to sort of explain what's happening. But all of the sort of amusing world-building stuff that has been going on is gone. And the art is not good. And it's extremely disappointing to the point where I'm thinking about just dropping the whole series because I can't take another issue of this quality. It's unacceptable, is all I'm going to say. First two issues are great. I don't know how the series is going to end. I might need to look at some solicits to make a decision, but this is terrible. Which is weird because the other Daniel Warren Johnson book this week is, I'm just going to spoil it now, my pick of the week. This book is outstanding. I love it. I got to the last page. It has been a while since I've yelled at or in response to a book, and I made 2 exclamations. There's the initial surprise of the reveal, and then there's moments later came the implications of what that was, and all. This is only issue 2, and already I want to reread the thing with new knowledge, and it's just so good. So good. The story is phenomenal. The art is, I mean, just look at this panel. Look at that. Ugh, I love it. And that's not even, wrestling action. Let's get to some wrestling action. So we've got barbed wire chair. Oof, that hurts. That hurts. And then light tubes. I mean, look at that. This book is phenomenal. Highly recommended. And I'll say it again, my pick of the week. Farmhand 19. What I love about this book is it tells you how many issues are in the arc, when they're coming out. So we have one more issue this arc. Things are already ramping up to some pretty intense levels, and there is, I want to show something without showing something else, but there is this part at the back here that says that there will not be a letters column next issue because he's using the entire issue, 28 pages, for art, and he says this is foreboding. The way this arc ends, I don't think letters would feel appropriate. This worries me greatly. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am filled with dread, and thankfully, this is the way my brain works. I'm going to forget about this until the issue comes out, and then I'm going to read it and be surprised. Whew, I don't think I'm prepared. But this book is phenomenal. I think I've said that a few times already. And it's still true. Here's this guy. Possibly behind everything that's been happening to this town, to the world. This book is fantastic. Highly recommended. It was on hiatus for most of the early part of the pandemic, but it is back. It is ending soon, I believe, with the next arc is the final arc. So issue likely 24, 25. Highly recommended. Get the trades. A Calculated Man, issue 2. So the first issue set up our lead as a very intelligent man with a plan who's trying to save himself while correcting some past misdeeds. It's a great book. It is a crime story, and I was a fan enough to add this to my pull list. Here is him executing one of his plans while on the phone with his girlfriend. I've mentioned he has a plan. The seeds of that plan's unraveling starts here. There is a, I'm going to say, mistake made. We'll see whether or not he intended to do what he did, or if he has a plan to get out of that as well. But it seems like things are set to go poorly for him, and I'm excited for that. It is a great read. The art I just showed off, but the art is great. This is an innocent scene, but there is, let me show, there's also violence. This is Violence Aftermath. Highly enjoying it. If you're into crime, get this book. I hardly know how to describe Shaolin Cowboy. I think you're either in the know or you're not. And if you're in the know, then you obviously know what you're getting into. And if you don't, then it is Jeff Darrow drawing. Here is page 1, panel 1. The Shaolin Cowboy fighting a giant featherless bird. That bird falls on top of him, and he spends the bulk of the issue trapped underneath this dead bird. He continues to fight. It's fantastic. It's so fun. It's so ridiculous. And the way this issue ends, I think this is a 7-issue series, but the way this issue ends, I have no idea where things are going, and I guess that's true of every issue of Shaolin Cowboy. But the fight that has been going on since roughly the start of the series is kind of over. It ends in a way where I guess anything can happen, which is always true. So I don't fully know what the point I'm trying to make is, but it is excellent. I highly enjoyed it. I will forever buy new Shaolin Cowboy. It is a spectacle. It is a sight to behold, and it is just so much fun. Here is a lizard fighting with a sword versus a guy using rocks. Like, that's what you get. That's what you get from Shaolin Cowboy, and that either interests you or doesn't, and I can't sway you one way or another. World's Finest, issue 5. This is the end of the Nez Haas series. That's him on the cover there. And it ends well. Yes. It sounds like that's a question, but no, it does end well. There is a big fight scene. Basically everyone versus Nez Haas, and Batman is upset with things. Things happen to some people. He is not pleased. If you want to see Batman upset, definitely get this. Although he is more upset with one person than another, and I don't know. It feels a little bit weird. And then the weirdest part of this is actually the one-page epilogue that we get, and it's let me show you this. So everything wraps up as far as Nez Haas, and then there is this one page. Years later, that doesn't matter. But, like, what? Continued here, which he's writing. This is a mini-series, but I don't know what the point of that was. I don't know. You could have just done an ad instead of... It's a comic page, but it adds essentially nothing. It's kind of terrible as far as the page goes, but whatever. It's good enough. It's enjoyable, and it's not the worst book of the week. It's good. Lonesome Hunters, issue 2. So issue 1 was mostly world building, backstory, some character introduction, and this issue escalates the threat that they're facing, and I think this is only a 4-issue series, and I really have no idea where things are going to go from here. Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about the opening. Goodness. So there's just this guy who wakes up in a forest. Alright. Sure. I don't know how that connects yet to the rest of the book, but I guess we'll see. I'm fully on board with wherever the story is going, of an old man, his neighbor, child, girl, and a magical sword versus some birds. Let me show you some birds. There we go. So there is birds versus an old man with a sword. And the bird attaches itself to a human. This is a really poor, and I'm trying to keep things vague so I don't spoil anything, but it is a supernatural, not quite horror, but dark fantasy, maybe I'll say. Urban fantasy? Dark urban fantasy? I don't know. What it is great. Highly enjoying this. Highly recommended. I think, like I said, it's only 4 issues, so there should be a collection coming soon, but it should be a very tight series already. I'm hoping there's more than 4, because I think this could have some serious legs. Lastly, but by no means least, we have Skybound X issue 25. You can see there images of tomorrow, which, if you are unfamiliar, I don't know how to explain. In the 90s, Image jumped from single-digit issues up to 25 as a tease for things to come. There was a handful of books that did this, and most of those books never made it to issue 25. It was a pretty cool thing that happened at the time, and then it ultimately ended in disappointment. But it is clear to me Kirkman is having the time of his life. He's loves his job, has nothing but fun, and Skybound X, I like this series. This issue in particular has some great previews, and this Battle Beast story as well. So these are previews for upcoming Skybound books, and then there is a extremely short Battle Beast origin story, and I say short because it really slots into, I'm not sure the particular issue number, but it starts with sort of the first fight with Battle Beast and Invincible, and then it shows from his perspective, the immediate aftermath of that fight, and then he explains his origin story. That's the short part. Him talking about his origin is very short, but it's got to be probably 8 pages total of this short, and it's fantastic. I still wish Invincible hadn't ended, and that Ali was still drawing it instead of working for Marvel, but whatever. This is the world that we live in. So up next is a preview for Dark Ride. I had not known about this. I know that, this is the team of Birthright. I highly enjoyed Birthright. It ended a while back, maybe a year ago? Maybe slightly less. But it ended, and in one of the final issues, the writer was talking about the team's next book, and I guess that is going to be this. It is dark, sort of horror-themed amusement park, and I don't know where it's going, but already it is extremely enjoyable. Fist fight breaks out because of a guy that may be cut in line. It's fantastic. Up next is Chroma, which I hadn't heard about, but is this story about... So there's this village, and they talk about how colors are death. So some of these words here are talking about the village is walled. In these pages, in this preview, they're trying to expand the city, and they leave. They're going to enclose an area with white sheets because things that are outside the city can't see black and white. It's weird, whatever, I'm going with it. And then things happen, and I'm already on board. It's I'll be adding that to my pull list. Lastly, there is a preview for Scurry. Looks like this, which I'm going to say is kind of a post-apocalyptic mouse guard, and I know that other series predate mouse guard like Nim and Watership Down, but when I see animals on adventures, I think of mouse guard before those other ones. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. Things happen, there's a sense of where the story's going, but I'm not fully on board. These two, however, are great, and I'll be adding those to my pull list. From Skybound X, if you want to see some previews of upcoming stuff, or if you want an amazing Battle Beast by Kirkman and Ali, then definitely pick this up. That is everything that I got this week, and World's Finest, as I said, was fine. All of this is phenomenal, and then this is please don't buy this. You can get the first 2 issues, but don't buy issue 3. It's not worthy of purchase. But all of these are fantastic, and Do A Powerbomb is the clear winner of the week. This is my pick of the week, but again, all of this is great. Lonesome Hunters, I'm really enjoying. Calculated Man, great crime story. Really want to see where that goes. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.